What's up, everybody? Welcome to Super Geeked Up After Hours. Francis, what are you doing?
I know.
I'm waiting for the thing you do. Do it.
Oh, After Dark. I didn't do it last time. That's why. After Dark.
Oh, what? I thought you've done it every single one, I thought.
I didn't do it last time, man.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it. The show was ruined than last week.
No,
All right.
Yeah.
You should do that for... You should,
Oh,
you should talk like that for Martha. Not like that. No, the After Dark. The After Dark, I meant, not like Sulu. I mean, she might like Sulu, too, if she's a big Star Trek fan. All right, folks. So we are...
joke about the reason why he was so low is because he was using his bedroom voice, and he'd been practicing that. But I don't know Francis very well, and I don't know Martha at all. So it's just like throwing that out in a public forum was probably not good. So
the thing is, Matt, you're right.
All right, folks, on tonight's After Hours, again, this is bonus content for you awesome Patreon supporters. We really appreciate you guys. We're talking Harrison Ford. So movies, roles, like what are some of your favorite Harrison Ford movies or performances or roles or just ones you think are fun and that you love? Lots to choose from, obviously. It's interesting. I said on the main show, I said movies and series, but I realized, has Harrison Ford ever been in a TV series?
Oh, he was apparently in Kung Fu.
The original Kung Fu, David Carradine?
Wow.
As Mr. Harrison, and there is, if you click on the episode Cross Ties, you will see a still of him in a bowler hat and looking through some jail cell bars. So, and this is of course pre-Star Wars. So he had.
This was just like a one-time guest appearance.
He had guest.
Okay, what is you saying? He wasn't even guest. He was like an extra. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, he had like a small role in Kung Fu. He apparently also had a small role in a show called Petrocelli. Show that it's about an Italian American Harvard educated lawyer who gave up big money to practice.
Big money.
A sleepy city, the American Southwest. So I don't know that one, but he played a role in that. So he has been in. Those are the only two TV series. Oh no. And apparently he was also in the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles for an episode.
So I'm looking at his IMDb right now, and it says that he did 2 episodes of The Virginian in 1967, 1 episode of Ironside, which I've never heard of, 1 episode of The Mod Squad, My Friend Tony, The FBI, Love American Style, The Intruders, a lot of stuff. Apparently.
So basically, he did a lot of stuff before, like, he got big with the movies. He did a lot of TV.
Back in that time, where famously in interviews he goes, "Well, I didn't like the kind of roles that I was getting," so he almost gave up.
Yeah, he got a lot of westerns. He was in Gunsmoke. He did a lot of westerns. So
he's got those rugged good looks. Of course, he'd be great for westerns.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Gunsmoke.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So so Matt, what is one of your, I guess, your favorite roles or movies of Harrison Ford?
So I'm going to ignore Indiana Jones and Star Wars because that's just too easy. I mean, come on.
But don't worry, folks. We will talk about that, folks.
You can't not talk about it, but I'm just going to go by it to give it to somebody else. Have you guys ever seen a movie called The Mosquito Coast?
No.
Nope.
It was a movie that he did where Helen Mirren plays his wife and River Phoenix plays his son. And he's a scientist / inventor that moves to Central America to create his own utopia, Jamestown style. I mean, he's like crazy in this. It's like one of the big things is he's trying to build this huge factory that he's like, if I make ice in Central America, these natives are going to come and want to live in my town. And they live Swiss Family Robinson style in this tree and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he's just off his rocker because he's leaving civilization behind. And it's really a good movie. I'm saying it like it's hilarious. It's really not. It's really a pretty heavy film. But he's awesome in it, and being paired with Helen Mirren and River Phoenix, it's a pretty awesome film.
Yeah, no kidding. That sounds fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, I did not even know this existed. Well, and River Phoenix played, the young Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, right?
Yes. And I don't know if that was after. I think that might have been after that. So maybe that's where they met, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, he can play me," but I don't know. But yeah, it's a great film.
All right, good recommendation.
Oh wow, yeah, Mosquito Coast was before The Last Crusade, so
Okay.
I guess it may have been the other way around. I guess, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeff? All right, cool. Francis, what about you?
Oh, okay, me. This is a movie that I don't think anyone's ever seen called Firewall in 06, where he plays like it's I don't know if it's like he's kind of
2006.
2006, yeah. It's supposed to be like he's a computer specialist, and there's this I guess there's terrorists trying to rob from a bank, and he's trying to make sure that he protects that said bank. But it's such a weird role for him, because he's not only does he has to play kind of like a computer savant, but also there's a little bit of action in it near the end when he has to actually start fighting back against the guys who are trying to get to the servers and whatever. And it's just like it's just a weird kind of movie for him after having been I don't think he's ever been an intellectual, quote unquote intellectual in that way. He's an archaeologist, sure, he's like a teacher, but never.
He's a president.
He's not tech savvy. Like I look at Harrison Ford, even back then, I'm thinking I don't think he's tech savvy. I don't see it. I know he's in Blade Runner, I understand, but I never saw it. But I just thought I just remember seeing this movie and like, this is a really strange role for you, but I like it. I really like it.
I feel like once he got into the 21st century, it's like if you watch all of his Star Wars interviews and they're just like, were you excited to go back and play Han Solo? And he was just like, it's all about the contract and the paycheck. I feel like once he got into the 21st century, he was really just like, I've done my time in Star Wars jail, and anybody that wants to throw me a 7-figure check, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want a passing interest in the character, but make me a Russian guy in K-19, and I can do that. If Sean Connery can be a Russian, then Harrison Ford can be a Russian.
Francis he does that all the time. His Sean Connery in Red October.
Well, I'm a Russian submarine captain. That's of course a Russian. This is a Russian accent. It's like, yeah, okay, Sean Connery.
Yeah. And now we play our game of chess against our old adversaries, the American Navy.
Tammy, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, Tammy. What you were just talking about, though, Matt, I remember I was at one of I forget which year, a couple years ago, one of the San Diego Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
And it was there for the Star Wars Episode 7 when he was there, but it was for something else he was there. I think Blade Runner 2049. And a fan asked him, it was during like the fan questions. Mm-hmm. He's like, now that you're back in Star Wars and Blade Runner, like, is your plan to bring back every character that you've ever played? And he pauses for a minute, leans in, and he's like, you're damn right it is. Or actually, I think he said, you bet your ass or something like that. Something like ridiculous like that. It was funny though, like the way he did it.
Well, I mean, he is 78. So, I mean, at this point, why not?
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants, man.
Yeah.
He's earned it. Tammy mentions Air Force One. Yeah, that's a great choice. Very, famous portrayal of the president.
Yep.
No, what? Get off! What is it? Get off my plane! Is that the line, right?
And wasn't Gary Oldman like the bad guy?
Yeah, he was the villain. He was the villain in that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's just
that's a first. It's a really good concept, right? Air Force One gets hijacked. That's a good high concept. Well, Fran's like, not so much. Okay, fine. I think it's a cool action idea.
It's the Anglo version of Snakes on a Plane.
Exactly.
But it came before Snakes on a Plane.
Well, then Snakes on a Plane was the African American version of Air Force One.
There's too many snakes in this room.
Get these mother effing terrorists off my mother effing plane.
I can, and every time I hear that, I can only think he had to, Samuel L. Jackson had to redub those lines for cable, and it's get these monkey fighting snakes off this Friday plane.
Wait, what's the second one?
Monday to Friday plane.
It's like watching Die Hard 2 and hearing Bruce Willis go, yippee-ki-yay, Major Falcon. It's like, okay. Or watching Blazing Saddles and just, it's like the 45-minute cut. There's a ton of commercials in Blazing Saddles to make that work.
That Snakes on the Plane one though is great because now but that actually works. I'm thinking like, oh my god, these snakes have like this arch enemy of monkeys that they have this history. What are these monkeys that are their enemies that they're fighting? And why does this plane only fly Monday through Fridays? Why doesn't it fly on weekends? When a lot of people
Nobody knows.
The added lore.
Like it did, yeah. It adds all
lore.
Yeah,
I think it improves it. It adds a lot of backstory. I don't also understand why they just don't bleep that out like most things do, or just just do where they take the audio goes out for a second.
Fun. It's fun.
I mean, it is more fun, I suppose.
I think that bleeping things out is one of those things that, as a 40-plus-year-old man, dates me, because you really don't have much cause to bleep anything anymore.
No.
And it's not that it's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but for the most part, you can get away with a lot.
I don't know. I just the other day they like the audio dropped out at a couple places in a thing I was watching.
Was it on
Was it what?
Was it on Pluto TV?
No, I have Sling now, so I don't watch Pluto TV anymore.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sure I'll go back. I was always talking about Pluto TV. Pluto TV is great. It's free. But I haven't been watching that in a while.
TV.
What is it?
Like IMDb TV or Tubi or any of the other ones.
Is IMDb free? I keep forgetting about that.
It's got, that's another one. And again, I'm totally getting off topic, but it's like growing up, it's like everybody hated seeing the commercials. So when streaming came out, everybody was just like, awesome. I just have to pay somebody $15 a month and I don't have to see commercials anymore. But we're to the point now where people are just like, you mean I get to stream stuff for free and all I have to do is sit through 2 minutes worth of commercials? And I'm just like, oh my God.
It went full circle.
Full circle. It's like,
Jalou, hello, Jalou. Thank you for joining us. And After Hours says, wow, Ford has been acting since 1966, according to IMDb.
Yeah. Been at it for a while.
Shit, man. 44 years?
Yeah,
and he would have been 24.
54 years. I'm sorry. Right? Yeah. Holy shit. It's a long time.
But he would have been 24 when he started. That's how old Harrison Ford is.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, I'd have to look it up, just speaking of Sean Connery, I think that's about the age that Sean Connery stopped, was right around then.
Sean Connery stopped in his 70s, yes.
Because I think he was 92 when he died, and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was 2006. So that would have put him right at 78 when he stopped. Mm-hmm. So I'll be sad when and if Harrison Ford retires.
Well,
I think he's still going to go for a little while longer, though.
Yeah. He did a movie with a CGI dog, The Call of the Wild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That's not like a sterling vote of confidence for him to continue on. If you're going to say, well, all we're going to have is Call of the Wilds from here on out, I'd be like,
I mean, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I mean, he seems to be willing. I mean, maybe Callista has stuff she wants to buy.
Yeah. Beethoven.
That's right.
6th.
That's his wife, right?
Yeah. They're definitely not spending her at the grocery store with Callista Flockhart. I'm sure she's a lovely woman, Jeff. I'm sorry. I went negative.
Sorry. We try to keep it very positive.
Okay.
In the show. I didn't know this. I also brought his IMDb since you guys brought it up. I didn't. So obviously I've seen American Graffiti, but there was a thing called More American Graffiti in 1979. I didn't even know that existed.
You're joking, really?
That's what it says here.
Or hey,
I don't understand. Is it an official sequel? I didn't realize they ever did another thing to American Graffiti.
I imagine it's probably like Grease 2. It's like, it was an official sequel, but nobody really cares.
Okay, yeah, it just says based on characters created by George Lucas, but it was actually by a guy named Bill Norton, is the writer-director.
Ron Howard's movie.
Yes. Wow. That was like one of the first things that was Ron Howard coming out from behind the curtain of Opie and the Cunninghams and all that other type of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. made for 700, basically 800K, and made 115 million bucks.
Well, not too surprising, I guess.
Which I've heard that's the reason why he got to make Star Wars, was because of American Graffiti. So it makes sense if it was just like, well, it made 115 times plus what it cost to make. Of course they would greenlight it.
100%. Yeah.
Right, and of course, obviously Ford and Lucas worked on that, and then obviously, Ford went on to, of course, be Han Solo.
What?
It's fine. It's a surprise.
I don't know. I've never heard that name. Never heard that name before.
Well, that's. I mean, I know, right? Everybody knows, of course. I mean, Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
We need to really.
I feel we should at least talk about a little.
Yeah, but we really need to talk about that kung fu, episode he was.
That's nobody's seen.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
The kung fu episode he was in is the important thing.
Oh, right. That really kicked everything off.
That was when Hollywood sat up and was just like, that guy in the hat, he's going to be a star.
Right.
He looks great in a bowler hat. We need to get him on a show.
What I like is that he's the only one in the scene that's not doing kung fu in kung fu. It was notable.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. But
obviously, he's amazing as Han Solo, right? I mean, obviously, what an iconic character, and he just brings the right swagger to that role. And again, and him and Carrie Fisher together are just one of my all-time favorite on-screen couples.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me the age difference. I think he was like 34 and she was like 18 when they did the first Star Wars movie, and that kind of blows my mind. Is that she had so much poise, but even that relationship was able to work is kind of a testament to the actors, because you're talking to somebody almost double your age. How do you get chemistry? I mean, obviously he's Harrison Ford, so I mean,
Harrison Ford is really good at. Well, you know what though? Has he had another kind of iconic,
leading lady?
That leading lady kind of coupling in film? I don't think so, really. Not even Marion in.
No one that's come close to, I think, Carrie Fisher and Leia.
Yeah. Because none of the ladies in Indiana Jones survived more than, obviously, Marion made it in the first and the fourth, but,
Marion, obviously, Marion, I guess, is the next closest. I mean, I actually like the movie Sabrina. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think he winds up with her at the end. I think he, or instead of his brother, Greg Kinnear.
Well, hands down, Greg Kinnear, Harrison Ford. Greg Kinnear is a good-looking guy, and I loved him in Mystery Men. But
yes. But yeah, particularly in Empire Strikes Back, I think that's when him and Carrie Fisher, man, oh my God, it's just all their scenes are so freaking good.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt.
All right. Speaking of Indiana Jones, do you guys have a favorite moment, indie moment? Or my favorite, Last Crusade is my favorite of the movies, of the indie movies.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but I've always liked in Temple of Doom when he's about to get crushed by the stone and you just see his face in that rock and he's going, "We are going to die." And I just love that because he's framed in that little thing and he's just so animated, and it's just Indy in a panic, which you hardly ever see him in that situation. I just thought that was hilarious. It makes me laugh every time I see it.
Nice.
That's gotta be one of his favorite roles to play, because he just keeps going back to it with no questions asked. It's like, yeah, you know what, Indiana Jones, sure, put me back in. So I can see it, yeah.
Well, and he's always been somebody that obviously is, anytime the character gets stale, he gets pretty vocal about it. And you think of the character in Raiders of the Lost Ark was pretty different from Temple of Doom. Those are almost two different movies with the same character. The tone is so different. So he kind of got to play Indy in a very different way in both. And then adding the father dynamic in the third. And again, tonally, those three films are pretty different in the way that they play out. So I can understand why he wouldn't get bored and why he would continue to come back and want to play the character.
No, that's a good point. You're right. They are. Yeah. And actually, I think is probably one of my favorites is the dynamic with him and Connery in Crusade. They just have so many wonderful scenes. I love the one where they're tied up and and they realize, number one, they've both been sleeping with the same woman.
Yeah.
But then also like I think it's the father, right, who accidentally starts a fire or something, right? And then they're like hopping around in the chair or something trying to get, and then like the secret door revolves around. It's like such great comedy.
Yeah. Well, and it's just Spielberg at the top of his game and two iconic actors, and how many things need to come together to make a film work, and those are three right in a row that are just pretty much picture perfect throughout the entire thing, and it's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, but yeah, Connery is awesome.
Yeah. And it's
I remembered my Charlemagne.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh.
Or he like shoots the wing off and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, son, they got us."
Yeah. I can't believe what you did.
I didn't realize until I was reading Sean Connery's obituary that he was only like a couple years or a few years older than Harrison Ford at the time. They were like super close in age.
I think it was closer to like,
or maybe.
Well, it
wasn't that maybe 10 years. They were not far apart in age at all.
It'd have to be like 14 years because I was just saying he quit.
Oh wait, he's the same age.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's 14 years then, I guess.
Which is still,
but still, that's pretty. That's closer than you would have thought, right?
Oh yeah. Those are a big 14 years. But they also dressed him up in the tweedy suits and the hat and
right. They made him look a lot older. Yeah.
The white hair versus Harrison. So I mean, come on, all the tricks.
Yeah. Jalou says, my favorite Indiana Jones was not a Harrison Ford moment, but from the Indiana Jones Chronicles. After Jones tells of the love that got away during the tussles of the Great War, only to reconnect with the lady love when they're both extreme seniors. Jones, an American fighting for the Belgians, and the lady, a Red Cross nurse.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, wait a minute. Okay, hang on. Is this the same? I remember the Young Indiana Jones series. Is this a different one, or is this what he's talking about?
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Okay, Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, right? I thought the Young was in there.
Huh. Yeah, but Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Yeah. All right. I didn't know if I was missing some show that about Indiana Jones. Like, God damn it!
Oh, the Temple of the Forbidden Eye ride at Disneyland. That's the episode you're forgetting.
Oh, dude, that's my freaking favorite ride at Disneyland. I think I love that ride. It's so cool.
Right, yeah.
And they don't have it at Disney World actually.
Yeah, he voices Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Really?
Wait, who does?
Harrison Ford. He does the voice for.
Oh, he does the voice for the ride. That's great. That's amazing.
Huh. That's cool.
All right. By the way, sorry, Julie, we will answer this question. He says, what are y'all thankful for since tomorrow is Thanksgiving?
We should end the night with that one.
All right. You want to save it? We'll save it. That's a good idea. All right.
But great question.
Yes, we'll come back to that, Julie. Don't worry. Oh shit, I forgot. Harrison Ford was in the Expendables 3. I guess
was
that's
he?
Right. That's what it says.
Oh, he was.
I've not seen that one yet.
But the thing is, Stallone brought like anybody who was like any kind of action star. I think at some point he brought to that series.
I guess I'm just amazed. Read.
What?
I'm just amazed that Harrison Ford agreed to be on the Expendables at all.
But I think here's the thing, I don't know if it's that because he doesn't need the money, right? But part of it might be just that, if you got Stallone and Schwarzenegger and all those guys, maybe it's just like, you know what? I think it'll just be fun. It'll be like stupid fun just to go play with these guys in this ridiculous over the top movie that I haven't gotten to do in a long time.
I have such a cynical view of how Harrison Ford is as a person. I don't know.
You know what? I know he's had that reputation, but I've seen him a couple times again now at cons, and he was very polite to the fans and appreciative. And I did not see that like that. So maybe part of it he's mellowing out. I don't know.
I think he's sick of just sick of the reporters and things. That's when I've seen him most irascible, is when he's being interviewed and people are asking him questions that he really just doesn't want to answer, that don't interest him anymore. Have you guys ever seen who Graham Norton is?
Yeah,
he's
the British talk show host. Yeah.
Did you see the episode where he was on and they do the recreation of the I Know scene from Empire Strikes Back?
I've not seen that one. No.
He has a really great moment where they basically take women out of the audience to say the "I love you" part, and they play the na, 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 and he says, "I know."
Harrison Ford does it with people from the audience.
Yes, but the last woman was somebody that came in from Belgium specifically to go to the show to see Harrison. So she says the "I love you," and when he responds to her, instead of saying "I know," he says "Thank you," very sincerely, and it's really just a beautiful moment. And like you were saying, it I think shows that he really does appreciate his fans. So like I said, I think he just gets very tired and crotchety when it comes to what was it like playing Han Solo. He's just like, just watch any interview I've done for the past 40 years and you'll find out what I think about it means to be Han Solo.
I was in other movies, you know.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of movies.
Like, why don't you ask me about Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Talking about cowboys and aliens and how
Yeah.
Or the Mosquito movie. I forget what it's called already. The Mosquito something.
The Mosquito movie. That's what my time in Hollywood has been like. Just a bunch of blood-sucking mosquitoes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check out that clip. I have not seen that episode of Graham Norton.
It's great. Yeah.
Is it fairly recent?
No, it's probably 4 or 5 years.
Oh, all right. Well, not that long. Not like decades ago or anything.
No.
All right, cool. Let's see here. What else? What else do you want to? Anything else? You want to talk about Blade Runner at all? Like, what do you got, Francis?
I don't bring up Blade Runner because I thought the movie was dull.
It was pretty slow. I only just saw. I've not seen the new Blade Runner, and I only saw the original Blade Runner like 3 or 4 years ago.
Aha!
And
So I gotta get a pass for my Monster Squad then.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Monster Squad.
Oh, come on. Blade Runner is way more famous than Monster Squad.
Yeah, Blade Runner was such a tough watch for me. I mean, I understand that it's like a sci-fi kind of, staple of film.
Yeah.
Sci-fi. This is the movie you need to see. Cyberpunk. This is that. And I just thought I can't.
It is a very slow movie. And you Francis, you were there with me, right, at San Diego Comic Fest, where the guy who wrote the book about the making of it, who was on the set. Yeah, I thought at least you enjoyed that panel, right?
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
but it's very interesting how he goes through like how it became because it wasn't at first a hit at all. He didn't really make any money, and how it grew into this cult status, and people came to appreciate it. I still really like Blade Runner. It is slow. I'm with you. Yes, I get it. But I mean. Particularly visually, it had such a huge impact on cinema and sci-fi movies.
Yeah. Right.
But which version do you pick? Do you
I know.
The final cut?
Yeah.
Whatever. There's just too much to it. But
the new one, 2049, I actually have tried to watch that twice and I've fallen asleep. I haven't been able to get through either one. I've never been able to get through that movie. That's even slower to me than the original.
What's funny to me is that Blade Runner feels like it should be a movie of the mid-70s, because I actually just watched a video recently and it was talking about 10 things you didn't know about Logan's Run, which came out in 74.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie, but it's also got that old school sci-fi pace where it's more about story, and that generally slows things down. But when Star Wars hit in 77, it changed the entire game. It's like, okay, we got to bring our A game, and there needs to be action, and there needs to be a whole bunch of other things. So Blade Runner to me feels like a throwback to almost 10 years before in the way that it's paced. It's real low key and it's character driven, and not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know, just maybe a movie out of its time in a way, which is funny since it's so much future casting.
The future of 2019.
Yeah,
that's right.
Marty, it's not about you, it's about your kids. And it's like, ooh, not really.
Tammy, that's totally okay. You know my big thing on the show. I never give people a hard time for not seeing stuff. That's totally cool. You can always see something else. Maybe it's not your thing.
Yeah, you don't have to watch it.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, even I'm not. I mean, I like it, but I'm not like gaga over it. Like, I mean, I don't think it's quite the status I know that some people attribute to it. But that's fine if you love it. That's great.
Yeah. I think the only two movies I want to mention of his left, just because it once really surprised me, was 42, the Jackie Robinson movie.
Okay.
I didn't know. I haven't seen that. He's in that.
Yeah, he's in there as, I don't remember if he was a coach or a recruiter, but just him in there. It was a really surprise for me when I saw him on the film. Like, oh wow, he's in this movie, and it's a Chadwick Boseman film, and it's actually very good. It's a really good film, even if you don't.
Wait, does Boseman play Jackie Robinson?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sports executive. I don't know.
His name is Branch Rickey. It says.
Yeah. He's in it. Like, I think he's not in it a lot, but he's in it enough to where you're like, oh wow, it's crazy to see him play. And he plays old, which is the other thing that's weird. He plays like an old individual, and I don't know. When I saw him in it, I thought it was very, very good. And the other one is Ender's Game, which
I was just thinking about that because I was like, he barely appears in that one too, but he just sort of.
Oh really? Because I haven't seen it, but they build him in the trailers all the time. He's barely in it.
Well, it's about the kids. It's about the training and stuff.
I thought he was like their mentor or something.
No, he's just kind of the guy who bosses them around at the beginning.
Okay.
It's sort of like Kate Winslet in the Divergent series. It's just like, yeah, she's in it, and I would say she plays a much more essential character in those films than he did. But it's like they could have used it. Almost reminded me of the cutscenes in Wing Commander. It's like every once in a while you'd come back, and then there would be Harrison Ford going, well, your next mission is you're going to be flying through. And it was just like, okay, and now he's gone.
That's pretty much it in Ender's Game. But it's so funny to just kind of like, oh, you could have put anyone here. You didn't have to put him there. But again, you remember him when you see him in it. You still remember. Like that's what's so great about him as an actor is like it doesn't matter what size of the role he's in a film. You'll remember he's in it. You'll remember he's there.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. So Han Solo and Indiana Jones, obviously, are two of the most iconic characters, I feel. I'm asking you this because I'm not sure right now. I just thought of this. Is any other actor you think had two of that many iconic roles? Two roles that are that big, that iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of actors probably have one role, right? That's really...
Well, Sean Connery, James Bond.
Yeah, but
has Sean Connery had another one? Has he had another one though?
See, that's the thing. I don't think so.
Because I'm just thinking that seems like really tough, right? To have two that are that big,
right?
And that's probably why Harrison Ford is such a huge star, right? And everybody knows.
Yeah.
Anyone with who else? There's got to be, right?
There probably is. I just can't think of it.
So
right now.
I'm like thinking Tom Hanks is Woody, but what's another Tom Hanks? Because he's not big into sequels either. I mean, you got Forrest Gump. So I guess if you're not saying sequels, you could say Forrest Gump and Woody from Toy Story. Mm-hmm. Those are two very iconic.
Not as, but that's up there. That's a pretty good.
You don't think that Forrest Gump is up there with?
I don't think they're quite as iconic as Han Solo and Indiana Jones. No, but it's close. I think it's close.
Okay.
I would put Forrest Gump pretty high actually, but yeah, I guess it would.
I don't think people talk about it or are going to remember it quite as much. And part of it is maybe because they're not. The other movies are trilogies, or then obviously beyond trilogies, perhaps too.
I don't know.
Because they will.
Well, mainly because the watering down of the Star Wars universe. Forrest Gump is always going to be Forrest Gump. There's not going to be any more. They're not going to make sequels. There's not, but Han Solo, his place in the Star Wars universe is shrinking. There's more kids that are going to know Baby Yoda, Bo-Katan, and the Mandalorian now than anything else that won't watch the original Star Wars trilogy because it looks too old. But there'll be people like me that are just like the other way. It's like I don't really appreciate the newer stuff nearly as much. And so that's the only thing that's dangerous about that. And the same thing with Indiana Jones is I don't feel like the latest films have been nearly as up to scratch as the original. And if they keep on cranking out substandard Indiana Jones movies, it can't do anything except diminish the originals, especially for new audiences.
That's a good point, Russell made for new audience. I mean, for me, it will never diminish it because even though I don't like the sequels of Star Wars, doesn't tarnish that I love the trilogy more than anything, the original.
But again, you grew up with it though. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. You're right. For new people, you're right. It may be.
Yeah, I remember. I forget who. I think it was on one of the Jerry Seinfeld comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, where he was with Zach Galifianakis, and they did an episode of Between Two Ferns. And one of the things that he puts to Zach Galifianakis is, "Do you think that The Hangover would have become a comedy classic if you hadn't made all these sequels?" And so there is a power to just saying this was so good, we're not going to mess with it. And that's not what studios are about. But as far as the staying power, the legacy of those iconic films and actors, how you finish is also important. So I feel like I'm teetering on going negative, but I'm trying to be.
No, that's fine. No, that's not against anybody. That's just a very valid point. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think. What about Jack Nicholson? Maybe
the first Joker.
The first Joker. Again, what about The Shining?
Yeah.
The Joker, maybe.
Colonel Jessup and a few.
Yeah, I mean, Few Good Men. I mean, for me, that's the one I think Nicholson.
I actually think Jalou has the answer with Stallone, Rocky.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. There you go. Thank you for catching that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jalou. Damn it. You're right, Jalou.
Yeah, because Rocky and Rambo. Rocky is still, and because of the Creed movies, Rocky is still a known entity. Yeah. Rambo had his latest film, which didn't do great, but people knew Rambo. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, didn't know the Rambo.
I agree. I think this is probably the next closest one. Is Rocky and Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
Good, nice job, Jalou. Let's see.
Well, of course, you got the Terminator.
Oh, okay, so I love Schwarzenegger. So Terminator.
Yeah.
Then what's the other one though? That's the problem, right? Like he's been in so many movies that I love.
Conan.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, it's funny that we're kind of now. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be known for Iron Man. Yeah, I mean, it eclipses a lot. But Chris Evans still has a chance somewhere in his career. He's still a young man to come up with something else. So,
yeah. Oh, it's all right. We got some. That's good.
It's a darn shame Green Lantern wasn't great because then you'd have Deadpool and Green Lantern. But
I'm still gonna say every time I'll say I like Green Lantern. I know most people didn't. But I don't care. I liked it.
Nice.
It's not. I mean, it's not iconic, but
yeah,
it's a fun question though to think about, like what other actors have had that kind.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought of it when you guys were talking.
I'd like to see. It's funny. It's also like a female actress who has what has any female actress also had two incredible iconic roles that people just remember. I mean, Leia, if we want to go stay with Star Wars, but Carrie Fisher certainly Princess Leia. Yeah, but she didn't do much else after that.
But so, I almost feel like that's an unfair comparison just because women don't get as many opportunities.
It's much tougher. I mean, it's getting better now.
Meryl Streep is almost an iconic character
in herself,
in and of herself. Yeah.
But right. Yeah. Women didn't get definitely did not get the opportunities.
Yeah, they don't.
And it is getting better. I mean, I would definitely, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, I would call one of them. But again, she didn't do a ton either after that. Sigourney Weaver is probably actually.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely is Ripley.
That's a good call.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other. I mean, she's done plenty of other stuff too.
Yeah.
Like the
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
All right. There we go. Maybe we'll have to come back to this question on a main Super Geeked Up show.
What are we thankful for, guys?
Yes. Let's get to this question. Here it is.
Let's wrap up. Let's wrap up on a good note. What are we thankful for?
All right.
I think I will start just because mine's going to be a little bit of ass kissery, and to say that things like this and being on here with you guys and opportunities like this to interact with people when we're all locked up like this is something that keeps me sane. So I'm very thankful for opportunities like this.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Welcome back.
Well, yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Francis.
I mean, again, I've been sticking to the rules. So I don't get to go out and do much, and to be able to interact and talk to people and laugh for a day, for an evening, and just joke around and act weird and do weird noises and rhyme.
Martha.
I know. I was like, maybe a woman named Martha.
Well, she's not watching, so it's okay.
No, you should still say it.
Well, here's the thing.
Do you understand women?
I'm going to kind of bring her up too. So that's the other funny thing is I've kept her kind of a secret for a while. Mostly because
I know. That's why I had to keep asking on the show. Like, wait, is it all right to talk about this?
She said it was okay, but I'm so used to keeping her a secret because I know not a lot of people like the spotlight like I do, like being in front of a camera and doing all this stuff. I do podcasts. I like to be out there. And I know a lot of people like to have a private life. And so at first she wasn't going to have a name, really. And giving her actual name out, which was really surprising to me.
You mean in the chat?
In the chat, yeah. But no, I'm super thankful for Martha. Yeah, that was, again, the most serendipitous situation ever. Like,
yeah, you'll have to tell it sometime. It's a very cool story.
Weird.
You definitely have to tell it sometime.
Yeah, it's just so strange. And online dating is it wasn't even online dating, but we met online. So it's like that's
Twitter did something good for a change.
Yeah. That was weird. Yeah. Definitely Martha, and definitely again just being with a nice community, a community that welcomed her too. That was super nice. People just like straight up bring, she typed in one thing and everyone's all hi,
Yes.
And geeks are good people.
I'll piggyback off that, and I'll say absolutely one of the biggest things I'm thankful for is all the Super Geeked Up fans and viewers who I can't tell you how proud and thankful I am that you guys are the most positive people online. You're always super positive and supportive in the chat, like Francis just said. You were so welcoming to Martha, and you're always that way, and of us as well, and all our guests. And you do not. And there's a lot of obviously really crappy stuff that happens online nowadays, and it's in our culture in general. So it's so awesome that you guys are not that. You're the polar opposite of that, and you're awesome. And I know we can come and have a great super positive.
Yeah, very positive.
Super freezing, super positive. I'm not thankful for the freezing. Super positive and awesome. Chatting with all you guys. So love you guys. You guys are great. And obviously also very thankful for, Francis and all the guests like Matt, obviously, who come on and do our geeky shenanigans and our stuff and are willing to do all these kooky games that we throw at them. And my family very much, very thankful for my family. I recently moved back to upstate New York where I'm from, and I live very close now to my family again, which has been nice. I've been away from them for a couple of years. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks. All right. Jilu, you are correct. Martha could have gone as Agent M as an alias. That'd be cool, actually. This is Agent M.
Because I told her, think of a name that you want to go by. And she was thinking about it all week. And just today, she's like, no, Martha, just call me my name.
I actually really like that she used her real name because now I know it's her. And I feel like they got to know her a little bit, today. Yeah. And I'm glad she wasn't scared off.
No.
By talking about her.
She had a good time. She laughed about everything. So it's
good.
Glad to hear it. All right, cool. Okay, yeah. So again, thank you guys so much. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon and for watching every week. Again, hope you guys have an awesome Thanksgiving and you get to eat some delicious food and all that good stuff. Watch some football if you like football and whatever else you want to do. Watch the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving thing again.
Good call.
No,
is it on HBO Max?
No, it's on Apple, unfortunately.
Oh, Apple. I'm sorry.
But they showed it. I missed it, unfortunately. They let PBS show that one and the Christmas one. PBS can show both of those.
That's good. That's good.
So, you can do a whole Super Geeked Up on classic cartoon holiday specials.
You know what? I wrote that as a future question for December. Thinking the same way there.
Great minds.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is the first time I have in my own apartment. I've actually had a Christmas tree.
There
you go. I just put it up the other day.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
The biggest disappointment of my Christmas tree is I have a whole bunch of those old Hallmark magic ornaments, and I've got a bunch of Star Trek and Star Wars ornaments from the 90s and early 2000s that don't plug in to the Christmas tree light strands anymore, so they're just dead ornaments. And I've been trying very hard to try to find a power cord that'll work with those, but
good luck.
No joy.
So these are ornaments that light up?
Yeah, they got little LEDs, and I've got an Enterprise, original Constitution from 1991. That was the first year that they put these things out, and it has little.
Oh, the original series Enterprise or the movies?
Yes, the original series Enterprise, and that's when Hallmark kind of started doing all these keepsake ornaments, and so I've got a whole bunch because that was my parents' way of showing their love at Christmas, is they would buy us these keepsake ornaments, but I got no way to light them up.
That's awesome that you still have them though. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Julia, yes, all right, great. Looking forward to your live stream tomorrow. Yeah, that's a great idea, Francis. I salute you for that.
Yeah.
We
definitely.
salute you.
Oh, Funfire 10. Good evening, fellow gamers. Hello. I'm so sorry I'm so glad you're here, but we're literally just about to go off the air. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you missed the rest of it. But so thank you for tuning in. Obviously, you can go back and watch the show. You can also watch our main show we just wrapped up earlier tonight. We had a lot of fun on that. Jalou, we appreciate that, man, very much. Thank you for all your support and all your work behind the scenes with like FrefCon research and all that good stuff that you do. Yeah, that's another thing. Well, we'll tell you about it later. About FrefCon later. That's where the marriage is going to happen.
Yeah.
The Fref wedding.
Da-dun, da-dun,
Yeah, I'm glad Martha's cool with it. That's
da-dun.
great. Good
I'm
news.
fall down with it, apparently.
Yeah.
Me, but okay.
Gotta share the love.
Exactly. All right.
All right. Yes, thank you guys all very much for watching. Hope to see a bunch of you next week. Wednesday, normal time, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Happy Thanksgiving and stay geeky, everybody. Bye.